deal dictate the exit strategy.
Analyze the deal and figure out which is the best route.
Even if you don't want to fix and flip, there's somebody in your world that wants to fix and flip.
There was enough meat on the bone to where if you don't have to lift the hammer and you could keep it moving, take your money and go, that was the right move for us at the time.
And if you're an agent and you're listening to this, or if you're an investor and you're listening to this, once you tag team and you're both on the same page and you both check off those boxes, now it's a matter of, can we help each other out? Can we help the seller out? And then can we potentially help an investor out? Alex, what's up, brother? I appreciate you taking the time and joining us. Appreciate it. Nothing much, man. Here, trying to live the dream, trying to be like you.
That's the debatable who's trying to live like who, but I appreciate you having me on, man. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Listen, let's start off with, what did you think about the potential of investing and the real estate opportunities prior to that deal coming to fruition? And then now after that deal, how's your perspective switched?
Well, I guess we would go into the different kinds of investing that one can do in real estate and how you led me to kind of see the different options. So it's analyze the deal and figure out which is the best route. A lot of people think real estate investing, they think fix and flip right off the bat, or they're going to buy it and hold it and rent it out. And that's not so much the case. And it was the creativity behind the thinking that gets you to think differently on any other deal and analyze which is the best route for this particular situation, or not at all. But it opens more avenues for sure.
100%. I always tell people, let the deal dictate the exit strategy, not necessarily what I feel I want to do, because I'll miss out on deals because I'm so fixated on, I just want to Airbnb or I just want to fix and flip. Even if you don't want to fix and flip, there's somebody in your world that wants to fix and flip. And that's kind of how that whole conversation initially started between us. You want to kind of walk through the story of what happened and how the story worked and how the deal worked out?
So I got a call from, really originally this person was just a client of mine. I'd helped her in the past buy and sell some real estate. She's an older person than me, so she had already some properties that she was holding on to for many years. And she called me up one day and said, hey, I got this little house on the main street there and I want to get rid of it. And this is what I want. And, she didn't want to deal with being a realtor. She is actually a licensed person, but she relied on me for that. So the idea was, well, let's go take a look at it and see what it's worth. What's the best route to take? There was a tenant living there at the time, you remember. So that was a whole situation. And it's just one more sort of, it's not straight to the point, right? We've got to get around that too and figure out how we're going to do that. So she said, look, this is the number I think I want for it. And then that's when I came back. We analyzed the whole thing. You and I looked at all the different routes. And that's where the real estate broker in me comes out, because we can do a market analysis. We can do comparables. We can figure out what this little house is worth, the lot that it sits on, and factor everything in. And then let's match that up with what the seller was looking for. And in her case, she just wanted to cash out quickly as possible. You've got to understand the motivation behind where or why they want to sell and what they're going to do. And that'll also help you determine which way to go with it. So in this case, relocated to another place. She didn't want to paint anything, fix the roof, the tile, the kitchen, none of the above. And so we were able to make the numbers work. And we jumped in on a wholesale deal. The different option of real estate investing that a lot of people don't normally think of right away. Let's wholesale it. Essentially, let's flip the contract to another investor who is actually going to put in the time, energy, and effort into the renovations. We could have done that, but there was enough meat on the bone to where if you don't have to lift the hammer and you could keep it moving, take your money and go, that was the right move for us at the time. So we did find an investment buyer that wanted to buy the house and do the actual flip himself. So on that one, I don't know how many details do we want to give here, Kev, but it was a double closing. We closed, bought it from the owner, and on the same day we sold it to the investor to do the flip. He then went in and gutted the whole property. He did a new roof, new kitchen, new everything, really. He put a lot of money into it out of pocket. The key was for us was we didn't lift a hammer and we didn't put any unnecessary monies out of pocket, and we got in and out on the same day. So it was a learning experience for me personally, because I probably would have looked at that investment deal in only 2 or 3 different options. Can we buy it and rent it out? Is it a good monthly return? Can we buy it and flip it, put all the blood and the sweat into the actual renovations of it? Is it a possible Airbnb? In this case, it wasn't, just because of where it was located and the neighborhood and the busy street it was on. That really wasn't the option. So the wholesale deals, and I've seen you're doing videos on your Novation deals, and it's that creativity that I think exists more now than ever in the real estate industry, that there isn't, we don't have to be stuck in the cookie cutter traditional brokerage box of helping buyers and sellers, or even helping investors, find an investment property. There's no reason why, as an agent or anybody in the real estate industry, where you can't learn this niche and this sort of, this other part of your business of the investment world. So I took that from you for sure. Now, have I gotten into it even more so lately? No, because I'm focused on building my brokerage and other things, but it's time to turn the page. I'm officially on the hunt for another investment deal.
I love it. And, I'm here for you, and we're going to get that going for you. What I wanted to really point out that a lot of people might be listening is you did not only your due diligence, but you brought the different options to the table to the seller, where she could have renovated and flipped it. She could have listed it even for more. And yes, it was a problem with the tenant, and you let her know that there was some profit margin there that she could take advantage if she wanted to deal with the problems. And a lot of people are surprised that due to circumstances and, like you said, motivation, sellers sometimes are like, I don't want to deal with that. So find me this bottom line number as quickly as possible, fast, and I want to close because I have plans, in this case, in reinvesting the money. And that made sense for us to just close on it. Like you said, we use the double close strategy. But another misconception is people think you have to close on it, and then before you close on it, you can't really do anything. We did the opposite. We started marketing it and already finding the buyer, so that literally the same day that we bought it, the buyer that we found bought it the same day too, for a profit margin where we didn't have to lift the hammer, like you said.
And to piggyback off of that, the seller, if she would have, because you're right, we did present the options of, hey, we could just list it as a normal traditional listing in the MLS. We can go that route. You can remove the tenants, or wait for them to relocate, or if they're not cooperating, it turns into an eviction, which it almost did, and then start swinging a hammer on the renovations. And that whole process is easily 6 months. And so if a seller is not in a position, it's not even so much sometimes about the money. They just want to turn the page and be done, because it's the energy and effort required and running the show. She could have had a profit at the end of it, but at what cost? Your sanity sometimes, right? Because you've got to deal with so many different things and moving parts. We, from the beginning, not only did we try marketing it, but we were already on top of the tenant and saying, hey, look, this is happening one way or another. You got to get this. And in this case, it was an older gentleman. So there was, it wasn't exactly the easiest time. And there's a humanitarian aspect to that. But we still got to tell them, look, I'll help you, but at the end of the day, we've got to go here because the house is being sold and the lease is not going to be renewed. That takes a little time for people to wrap their mind around, especially a tenant that's been long-term living in one spot. They eventually think that, wow, I'm just going to be here forever. And it's not the case all the time.
100%. But you did a great job handling the tenant. And even though it took a few extra weeks for them to go, they eventually did. And the results on that deal is our buyer made 6 figures when they finished renovating and they resold it. So they were happy. Our seller was happy because she didn't deal with any of the headaches and she sold it to us fast and we delivered the problem to the solution. And we made a nice little chunk of change there. Joint venturing. A lot of people think that joint venture opportunities and doing business with each other is complicated, and it was super smooth. We were able to work the deals out, the numbers, all the specifics, take care of it, where the attorney handles all the legal side of it. And tell me from your perspective, compare that deal from a financial win versus your usual real estate deal, and how do you feel about each side?
You know, as a real estate broke, my bread and butter has been I help buyers and sellers. So, you know, it's not like you need to turn down a listing, a $500,000 listing of your traditional, like, let me help a seller sell and move, versus a real estate investment. What it showed me is you could just do both. There's no, when I meet with a seller, now I have an extra option or two or three on the table. I'm coming in as, hi, yeah, I'm going to help you sell your home, but I can also make you an offer right now if you're willing to hear one. And it, of course, it depends on the seller's situation and their own, you know, what their plans are. And I tell my agents that all the time. You need to get to the bottom of what exactly their motivation is. And if it doesn't make, if their plan doesn't make sense, then there's something off. You know, we're in the business of selling homes and getting to the closing table. I don't want to list it. I want to sell it. So, you know, finding out what that is step one. And then based on what they're telling you, you can go through your catalog of options and let the seller know, we've got this, that, whatever works for you, but I have all of the services to offer you. And that's what it did. It opened up another, it unlocked. It's like I got to another level. Like, okay, you're no longer in the box of real estate brokerage services. You can do this, and you can do this relatively easy by using your resources around you and your people and your team around you. It's, you know, it's not rocket science, but at the same time, you've just got to put it together. And that's what it unlocked for me mentally. And I think that was worth more than, I mean, yeah, we did make a chunk of change, but that was worth it. That alone.
Amen. Alex, I appreciate you sharing it. I tell all the agents, listen, pocket listings is something that you can use to your advantage. You should always have a cash offer ready to go on it, because it just shows that you have the connects and the contacts. That's just one option. And then present every option, educate them, and let the client know. Like you said, discovering urgency, motivation, what the bottom line number is for them. Those are the 3 check boxes we go through every single time we find an opportunity. And if you're an agent and you're listening to this, or if you're an investor and you're listening to this, once you tag team and you're both on the same page and you both check off those boxes, now it's a matter of, can we help each other out? Can we help the seller out? And then can we potentially help an investor out? So it's a beautiful mix once it all comes together.
Agreed.
All right, my brother. Appreciate your time. I've taken up a lot of it. And next time, let's do this face to face and break some bread.